Waking up in the simulation. The Silva family has been living in a quiet suburban house for years, isolated from the hustle and bustle of the city. Everything seems perfect: stable jobs, happy children, a simple life. But in recent days, something has begun to bother them. It is not a physical presence, but they feel like they are being watched, as if someone were behind every window, every door, every corner. Valeria, the mother, is the first to notice the strange sensation. Her young daughter, Sophia, begins to murmur incomprehensible things at night, words they cannot understand but which cause a chill in the air. Her husband, Martin, tries to remain calm, but a feeling of anxiety takes hold of him when, looking in the mirror, he seems to see someone else reflected in the house, even though there is no one there. Each one begins to have nightmares. Nightmares of being watched, of being controlled, of being trapped. And although they try to ignore what they feel, the discomfort intensifies. Paranoia grows. On one particularly tense night, the Silvas decide to check the house's security cameras. On the recordings, they find no one, but in a dark corner, the image briefly distorts, as if something is interfering with reality. Martin, feeling increasingly overwhelmed, discovers a cryptic message on a screen on his computer. "Are you really awake?" Sophia, the youngest daughter, starts talking about them. "They tell me I should wake up," she tells her mother one morning, but Valeria thinks it's just a child's game. Yet the message resonates in her mind. What does it mean to wake up? Aren't they already awake? As the feeling of being watched intensifies, Valeria begins to notice something even more disturbing. In her dreams, there is always a dark figure, a blurry face that seems to smile, as if it were waiting for her to recognize it. As if it were watching her through a screen. Things get stranger and stranger. The Silvas begin to lose track of time. Clocks go out of order, lights flicker for no reason, and the walls of the house seem to move as if they are changing places. One night, upon awakening from a disturbing dream, Martin finds himself in front of a mirror, but the image reflected is not his own. It is a man staring at him with a cold expression. Terrified, he begins to investigate further, and what he finds leaves him frozen. Scientific research documents, theories about simulations and virtual realities, and an old article about a failed mind control experiment on an entire population. Everything points to one conclusion: they are trapped in a simulation. The family decides to face the truth, but with each step, more things begin to fall apart. The family's memories seem to become distorted. Valeria remembers a childhood she did not live. Sophia sees images of herself in places she has never been, and Martin begins to have flashbacks of a life he cannot recognize as his own. As the family delves deeper into the secrets of their existence, they discover that they are not alone in their struggle. A strange message appears on the screens of their devices, seemingly sent from outside. "Wake up before it's too late." The warning is clear, but anguish consumes them. Wake up to what? To a reality they cannot comprehend? Little by little, the Silvas begin to perceive the flaws in their world. Objects fade and reappear. People around them seem to act strangely, as if they were simple avatars. Even in the most mundane moments, they feel like they are being watched by something or someone. But who is behind all this? Is it a government? An artificial intelligence? Or is there something even bigger controlling them from the shadows? The family can no longer ignore it. The truth is too terrifying to continue living in ignorance. They decide to risk waking up, but to do so, they must go through a series of painful tests, confront the distortion of reality, and ultimately break through the walls of the simulation. In the final chapter, the Silvas manage to find their way out, but what they discover upon awakening leaves them breathless. There is no other side. The simulation has been a prison designed to keep them trapped, but the truth is even more terrifying. The original reality no longer exists, and they were never part of it. Waking up has not freed them. It has only moved them to another level of consciousness, to another endless cycle of observation. The story ends with a chill. The family is not free. They are just pieces of a much larger game. And the question that remains hanging in the air is, do they really want to know the truth? Waking up in the simulation is a psychological horror journey where the perception of reality is shaken. Through the sensation of being watched, of being trapped, the protagonist must confront the terrifying possibility that nothing in their lives is real, and that the true nature of their existence could be even more terrifying than the simulation itself.